home, I plan to let you know the longing of my heart, the wish I carry high whenever we're apart. It takes me through the night when I look deep into your eyes. When I look deep into your eyes, when I'll be coming home, and I am on my way. When I'll be coming home, I wanna see you play the music of your heart. I'm followed by your light whenever we're apart. It takes me through the night when I look deep into your eyes. Oh, when I look deep into your eyes.
This one has a lot of spider webs on it. I'm scared. Spider-Man might come.
Like this?
Middle.
Yes. And then put it there. Like this. This one's a baby too. Look.
Yeah. I love baby tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
back again. When the stars are